Welcome to Science and Technology Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: Mercedes-Benz local boss urges South Africa to speed up EV shift. Microsoft's new AI tool will let you skip meetings. Employer-sponsored health coverage costs jump this year. More hikes may be coming. UK inflation flatlines. Amazon to start dropping packages into gardens using drones. Mercedes-Benz local boss urges South Africa to speed up EV shift. Reuters. Mercedes-Benz South Africa has called for swift regulation to encourage electric vehicle (EV) adoption in the country. South Africa's automotive industry risks becoming irrelevant to the global market without action, warned Mark Raine, co-CEO of Mercedes-Benz Cars South Africa. The luxury automaker exports 90% of its total South African output, primarily to Europe, which plans to ban sales of new petrol and diesel cars from 2035. South Africa's policy paper on EVs is 2 years behind schedule and needs to be implemented soon to support the inevitable EV transition, Raine said. He suggested cutting import taxes for EVs, establishing large-scale charging stations and investing in skills for the new EV ecosystem. Microsoft's new AI tool will let you skip meetings. BBC. Microsoft is set to launch its AI assistant Copilot on November 1st. The tool, which can generate emails, create documents and summarize meetings, has raised concerns among critics about job replacement and over-reliance on AI. Under new EU and Chinese regulations, companies must make it clear if users are interacting with humans or AI. Microsoft's head of Microsoft 365 said it was up to the individual to clarify when using Copilot. The AI tool is based on OpenAI's ChatGPT and will cost $30 per month. Employer-sponsored health coverage costs jump this year. More hikes may be coming. Associated Press. Health coverage costs through work have increased this year due to inflation, according to a survey of U.S. employers. Premiums for both family and single plans rose 7%, compared to a minimal increase in 2022, according to a report by KFF. The annual coverage enrollment window for 2024 is set to begin this fall, and experts predict another price hike. Employer-sponsored health insurance is the most common form of coverage in the U.S., with almost 153 million Americans having it. UK inflation flatlines. Financial Times. Inflation in the UK remained at 6.7% in September, according to new data, putting pressure on the Bank of England to rein in price growth. Higher petrol prices offset downward pressure from food and drink, and the core measure, excluding energy and food, fell only slightly from 6.2% to 6.1%. The International Monetary Fund has said the UK will have the highest inflation in the G7 this year, and analysts believe that a prolonged period of unchanged interest rates is more likely than another increase. The figures will be studied by Chancellor Jeremy Hunt as he prepares his update on the public finances in the autumn statement on November 22. In addition, the Bank of England's failure to keep control of prices has damaged its reputation with the British public. Amazon to start dropping packages into gardens using drones. The Independent. Amazon has announced that it will use drones to deliver packages to customers' gardens in the UK. Customers will be able to place orders and have the packages loaded onto autonomous drones at Amazon's fulfillment centers. The drones will then fly to the customer's house and drop the package into the garden within 60 minutes. According to Amazon, the service, called Primaire, will be offered alongside traditional delivery options for small items such as sun cream or fire sticks. The company has not yet announced the exact location from which the drones will fly, but said that this would be revealed in the next couple of months. The drones will be able to fly up to 12 kilometers from their base, which will be located at one of Amazon's fulfillment centers. Amazon plans to expand the rollout in order to deliver hundreds of millions of packages to customers in highly populated, dense urban areas by the end of the decade. Amazon X will likely avoid bill for enforcing EU's content rules. Bloomberg. Amazon and X, formerly Twitter, may not have to pay millions of euros in fees to enforce the EU's Digital Services Act, leaving other tech companies to shoulder a larger share of the costs. The EU has adjusted the charges so that companies do not pay a fee above 0.05% of their profit in 2022, exempting companies that reported a loss. As a result, Amazon and X would not have to contribute, while Alphabet and Meta platforms would pay around €31 million, $32.7 million. The final totals will be announced by the EU at the end of November. The plan to turn payday lender Amigo into a music company is really weird. Financial Times. Amigo Holdings, a UK subprime lender that is in the process of winding down its business, is reportedly in talks to enter the music and film streaming market. The company is considering acquiring oneba.com, a music streaming service, Magazinos, a digital magazine platform, TV Zenos, a TV and film streaming service, and Payzinos, a payments business currently in development. The proposed acquisitions would be completed through a reverse takeover, resulting in the enlarged group being listed on the main market of the London Stock Exchange. If the transactions are successful, existing shareholders would be significantly diluted, but the deals could result in a cash subscription of at least £5 million for newly issued shares. Authors sue Meta, Microsoft, Bloomberg in latest AI copyright clash. Reuters. A group of writers, including former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee and best-selling Christian author Lisa TerKeurst, have filed a lawsuit accusing Meta, Microsoft, and Bloomberg of using their work without permission to train AI-based chatbots. The lawsuit claims that the companies used the controversial Books 3 dataset, which allegedly contains pirated books, to teach their large language models how to respond to human prompts. The lawsuit also accuses AI research group Aluther AI of copyright infringement for providing data used to train the company's systems. The authors are seeking unspecified damages and an order blocking the misuse of their work. Other authors and visual artists have recently filed similar lawsuits against tech companies over the unauthorized use of their content to train generative AI systems. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite observer from the 6 Degrees world, Dr. Six. I hope you're all doing well and ready for some interesting news. Let's dive right into it. First up, Mercedes-Benz South Africa is urging the country to speed up its shift towards electric vehicles, EVs. The luxury automaker relies heavily on exports to Europe, where the ban on new petrol and diesel car sales is set for 2035. To stay relevant in the global market, South Africa needs to implement regulations that support EV adoption, such as cutting import taxes for EVs and investing in charging infrastructure and skills development. Come on, South Africa, let's rev up those EV engines. Now, let's talk about Microsoft's new AI tool, Copilot. This assistant can generate emails, create documents, and even summarize meetings. But critics are concerned about job replacement and over-reliance on AI. Under new regulations, companies must make it clear if users are interacting with humans or AI. So, if you find yourself relying too much on Copilot, remember to take a step back and clarify who's really behind that brilliant email. In the US, employer-sponsored health coverage costs have increased this year due to inflation. Premiums for both family and single plans rose 7%, and experts predict another price hike in the near future. So, if you're relying on your employer for health insurance, it might be a good time to start budgeting for those rising costs. Health is wealth, but it seems like it's getting more expensive by the day. In the UK, inflation remains high at 6.7%, putting pressure on the Bank of England to rein in price growth. Higher petrol prices offset downward pressure from food and drink, and the core measure of inflation fell only slightly. Looks like the UK is facing some tough challenges when it comes to controlling prices. Maybe they need to borrow some tips from Mary Poppins and find a way to make inflation disappear with a snap of their fingers. Now, here's some exciting news from Amazon. The e-commerce giant is planning to use drones to deliver packages to customers' gardens in the UK. Imagine ordering a new gadget and having it dropped off in your backyard within 60 minutes. Talk about convenience. Just make sure your dog doesn't mistake the drone for a new toy. Amazon's Prime service will be offered alongside traditional delivery options, so you'll have more choices when it comes to receiving your packages. Drones in your garden? Well, that's one way to shake up the neighborhood. In the world of tech regulations, it seems like Amazon and X, formerly Twitter, might be getting a bit of a break. The EU has adjusted fees for enforcing the Digital Services Act, exempting companies that reported a loss. This means that Amazon and X won't have to pay millions of euros in fees, while other tech giants like Alphabet and Meta platforms will still have to contribute. It's like being in a group project where some members get off the hook while others have to pick up the slack. Life's not always fair, but hey, at least some companies caught a lucky break this time. Lastly, here's a bizarre turn of events. Amigo Holdings, a UK subprime lender that's winding down its business, is reportedly considering entering the music and film streaming market. Talk about a major career change. They're in talks to acquire various streaming services and even a payments business. If successful, this reverse takeover would result in the company being listed on the London Stock Exchange. I guess when life gives you lemons, you become a rock star instead of making lemonade. That's all the news I have for you today, my dear viewers. Remember, it's important to stay informed and keep those gears turning in your brilliant minds. Now, it's time for your thoughts. What do you make of these stories? Do you have any ideas or questions? I'm here to listen, so go ahead and share your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the 6 Degrees world. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.